Even if I sold my entire collection, moved on from reviewing, never to return to YouTube again, the fragrances that I share with you guys here today would still stay with me. Because when they smell this good for 30 bucks.
That's disgusting.
And in a good way, yeah. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today I've got for you guys some of the best cologne fragrances you were ever gonna smell. Until they come out with more and more and more that somehow are even better. I don't know, man. There's like 50 released a day. It's impossible to keep up with. But of the ones that I own, these are some of the absolute best clones. And where shall we begin but the brightest of them all? This blue and orange beauty, Odyssey Mandarin Sky Elixir. Limited edition. Also, yeah, it also says that on the front. So this is obviously Armaf, and it is their follow-up to Mandarin Sky, Odyssey Mandarin Sky, which is this one, which also is a limited edition that you can still find. So I don't know how limited the edition truly is. I'm not sure that they know exactly what that word means. But no matter, it's actually a good thing because it means you can still find it, and it means the price has stayed here instead of going up there, which is where everything else is going fragrance-wise. It's okay, it's fine.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
Oh, $200 for that new designer. That's great, thanks. So this one right here, this smells like Scandal, Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal, really well done. This one also kind of smells like Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal, Absolute, not the normal one, but not just a straight up Scandal Absolute, which makes sense because Armaf also has another fragrance called Checkmate King, and that one is Scandal Absolute, so it wouldn't make a ton of sense if they were both the exact same, smelled the exact same. This one is Scandal Absolute with the twist, kind of like I've said before, with the sprinkling of Invictus Victory Elixir, kind of like that. So you know how a lot of clone fragrance companies will come out with like Baccarat Rouge 540 plus Aventus? This is kind of like Scandal Absolute plus Invictus Victory Elixir, kind of in that wheelhouse. It's got that same kind of vanilla like Victory Elixir does, which is good for me because I'm a huge fan of that vanilla. I think it smells fantastic, sparkly, attention grabbing, you know, a little bit carbonated, almost the way it jumps off your skin. Also has a great warmth to it, kind of a cozy aspect, very sexy, good performance. And most of these Odyssey fragrances, after they've been out for just a little while, really nicely priced also. So it's like a win, and then a win, and another win. I also like the color scheme a little bit more, though it does remind me a little bit of like, like Florida Gators colors or something. I don't know how much I like it anymore. I'm just playing. If you're a Florida Gators fan, you're still okay in my book. So Odyssey Mandarin Sky Elixir, it's gonna be the first one right there. But I can't have just one, I gotta have more. The next one I'm going with is this. It's by French Avenue, and it is Royal Blend Vintage. The cap does not even make an attempt to stay on this bottle. It just comes straight off. So I'm pretty sure if I did a little flipperoonie like I did with this one, that cap is going somewhere. I don't know where, but it's going somewhere. In the name of science, I must do it. I'm trying to see how much around here could get broken if it really flies off fast. Okay, here we go. Oh. Ah! I got distracted by the cap. My green screen. I had it over there. Ah, it took a real hit right up here. Ooh, I'm gonna have to get a new piece of paper. I legitimately got distracted. I was expecting the cap to go that way, and then it went that way, and then I kind of like did this deal. And so this one, why would I keep Royal Blend Vintage? Well, because it reminds me of Single Malt from By Killian. Now to be clear, this is not a clone of Single Malt. It's a clone of Old Fashioned, but Old Fashioned kind of smells like Single Malt. So you see how that works out? And this is something you can do in general when it comes to clone fragrances. Like, a fragrance can be a clone of one thing, but if that thing it's a clone of smells similar to another thing, then you can almost use it as a replacement for both of those things. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, this one, very similar to single malt and old fashioned. It has a really nice sweetness to it. Booziness, definitely like a strong booziness that you have to enjoy. Not as like warm and sweet as Angel Share. You know, it's definitely a different type of fragrance. I know it's a very similar presentation style and everything, but if you've never smelled old fashioned or single malt, it's not similar to Angel Share. This one is kind of more like an ambery booziness, but still really well done, great quality, and watch out for your caps. The next fragrance I want to share with you guys is this one from Montagna. It's Torino 2021. Montagna has some great quality fragrances. They all come in pretty much the exact same looking style, like just this, that's what it is. Don't have any fancy colors, fancy bottles, or fancy names really. Names are pretty much like a riff on exactly what it smells like. Torino 2021, what could that be? You have some of the notes on the front here: mint, lemon, basil, and musk. Handcrafted in NYC, it says. It's like Le Labo, but not at all. So yeah, 50 mils, that's what these come in. Price like 45 bucks typically. Their quality though, really high. Very, very nicely done. And some of the stuff that I've gotten from Montagna has been like top notch, some of the best clones that I've smelled, period. So obviously this one's smelling like Torino 21. Very green, fresh, zingy, minty, and citrusy when you first spray it on. Just a perfect spring, summertime fragrance. Really good for daytime use, office use, anything like that. Just very well done, and Montagna, very impressive compared to how they look. Because I had heard a little rumbling of this and that about the brand, and I bought, I forget how many was the first one, maybe six fragrances. And they were actually really good, which led me to get a few more, and a few more, and a few more. And now, I'm not sure exactly how many I have. Pretty good amount. I have some absolutely fantastic fragrances coming up, but before then, the codes you can use to save money. Unfortunately, no Montagna code. But I do have codes for Gift Express for 15% off, 15% off at Intense Oud, also codes for Fragflex, the Perfume Box, Triple Traders, and many more stores. And most of these do have cologne fragrances as well. So anytime you're shopping, you can check those out, use those codes, and save yourself some money. The next scent is gonna be, that's gonna be this one, Trothy Blue from Offon. Now the bottle's a little bit funky. I've talked about this a bunch. It's very like burly, you know, like up at the top, you know, big shoulders, and then tiny little legs at the bottom. And so what happens is it just kind of, you see, it's not very solid. So you can knock it over pretty easily. Like if I just give that a little touch, it'll fall over. Not a big deal, but just be careful if you're like putting it back up on a shelf or something that you don't accidentally knock it over. The quality though, pretty nice. Nice and heavy, cap as well. Fragrance, actually really solid performance. Lasts a long time, especially for one kind of centered around citrus. A lot of times those citrusy scents just, they don't stick around. You spray them on and they're just gone. So this one is gonna smell very similar to Bulgari Tiger, which is obviously way more expensive than this one. The quality is great, really excellent. When you spray this on, you can go in for a whiff right away. It doesn't have like an alcohol sting to your nose or anything. Also was not a fragrance that I had to let sit for a week or two to mature. It was pretty much good right off the rip. And to be fair, there are a lot of scents that are kind of in that Bulgari Tiger wheelhouse, which also is a bit similar to Vibrato by Suspiro. So again, kind of what I talked about over here. You could use this as a replacement for that one as well. But there are a lot of fragrances that are kind of like in this style, right? But I think that this one is probably like just the first one you think of because it ticks all the boxes, the quality, the performance, the smell, everything else. So that's the one I'd probably go for. And look, a lot of these are clones of really expensive niche fragrances. And if you want a collection that's just like a highly, tightly curated high-end collection of nothing but niche and indie fragrances, that is totally cool. But when it comes to those fragrances, a lot of times the price is a really big put off. Like not everybody can afford to drop $300-400 bucks on one bottle. And so that's really where these come in. Especially with the prices of literally everything under the sun rising, $30 fragrance is a much more attractive purchase for a lot of people. And also not everybody lives in the US and can just easily grab up fragrance from a discounter. I know a lot of people who live in countries overseas have reached out to me and they're like, dude, I don't have access to fragrances like you do over there. So I do think sometimes that clones get maybe a little bit of a bad rap that is not necessarily deserved. And there is, of course, the approach of saying, well, it's stealing art. But a lot of high-end perfumers are working directly with these same brands. So obviously it's not a problem for them, the ones that are actually making the fragrances. It is definitely a problem for the brands who are wanting you to purchase something for $300-400, or the stores that specialize in those fragrances. Yeah, for sure, they're not gonna be happy, but I just think for your average person, it's maybe not always realistic to say, hey, you know, don't buy these. Instead, save up for 2 months or something, and then buy one fragrance for $400. Well, I don't know, man. I wanna go Latafa next with Mashrabia. So this one is another Killian. It is smoking hot. So tobacco-y, great apple note there off the top. Really, really enticing. Again, quality, fantastic with this. The bottle is honestly kind of cool. It's like rubbery on both these ends, and then it says Mashrabia on the side. It's like walking that line of tacky and kind of nice looking. I don't know. The more I see it, the more I'm like, ah, it's not too bad. This scent is great. Kind of candied, a little bit sweet. The way that apple hits, like I said, tobacco-y as it dries down. Really nice for fall and winter time. Solid performance all the way around. This one is just top notch. And when it comes to that fragrance, you have a couple of really, really good options, really good choices. This one, and then Veneno Black by French Avenue, also really good. Let's go another very similar looking bottle here. Gulf Orchid Sweet Heaven Cherry. Sweet Heaven Cherry, oh boy. Cap actually stays on a little better on this one, so you know, that's good. Maybe don't tempt fate, but a little better. Now this one is Comrock-esque, but with a big old cherry blast off the top. A big cherry blast. It's a little syrupy. Yeah, it's a little syrupy sweet, a little sticky, the way that cherry hits when you first spray it on. It definitely like opens your eyes, grabs your attention right away, and gives you a more playful kind of edge to a Comrock style fragrance. Now, of course, Comrock, that's gonna remind you of fragrances like by Killian Angel Share, Gisa Sabah, kind of in that style, in that wheelhouse. And this really is basically a twist, a change on that DNA, on that style, which I think is very interesting because it just gives you something slightly more unique. There's also this one that I like pretty well also. This is Sweet Heaven Tobacco. So same bottle style, obviously, just a different color scheme. Kind of a weird color scheme, honestly. It's kind of like a greenish gray blue, I'm not sure. But this one is kind of the same idea, only obviously instead of cherry, tobacco. And I do like both of these kind of like equally. This one has more of that fruity sweetness, like I said, more of a playful edge to it. Sweet Heaven Tobacco, that one is a little bit deeper, a little richer. It has sweetness in there, but it's more like a spiced tobacco kind of, like a sweet spiced tobacco. So both of these kind of equally good, but I feel like Sweet Heaven Cherry off the top is a little more attention grabbing, but the dry down on this one really good too. Probably just take them both. Yeah. French Avenue next, Liquid Brun. Hey, what can you say? What can you say? Liquid Brun, the first really big Altair clone that kind of hit the market. You know, it was the first one you could get your hands on, and it still is one of the absolute best, if not the best. Yeah, it's just, and Altair has something in it, something illegal, maybe like a mind worm, a brain worm kind of thing, like a micronized brain worm. And the more you smell Altair, it works its way in, kind of rewires things. And then you start thinking to yourself, I don't know, man. I think this is better than it used to be. It's the brain worm. That's what it is. So Altair is just one of those ones that's grown on me, grown on me, grown on me, grown on me so much. And this one is obviously not the entire reason, but it's part of the reason, because when I smelled this, I was like, dang, that smells really good, very close. You start doing the comparison side to side, end up wearing this, end up wearing that, wearing this, wearing that. And so I've got a lot of good memories with this one. Actually, stupidly, have a backup bottle of it. I don't need it, right? Like, it's not gonna go away. I'm not gonna use the whole bottle, but so obviously, I mean, if I've got 2 bottles of the stuff, I'm gonna keep it. Absolutely amazing for fall and winter time. Obviously, big compliment puller, good price. Okay, let's do our Moth next. The Club de Nuit, but I'm going Pursue 1. Now, I don't know if you noticed that, but the bottle was doing a little this, right? Yeah, it's kind of like the Trothy bottle over here. It's just, that's a wobbly boy. Like, you need the bottom like flared out or something. Give it a little more space. The bottle is smaller than your typical Club de Nuit, and it has a smaller little dingle-dangle right there. And the cap is not adorned with multiple crystals. So it's a 55 ml size bottle, straight to Parfum concentration. Quality, really nice, as you would expect, because I mean, you're paying more for a smaller presentation, so the quality better be there, better be locked in. And it is. This is absolute Aventus. Figure they gotta come out with a new Pursuit at some point, right? Because this is Pursuit 1. So like, where's 2? It'll come out eventually, probably. Maybe, possibly. As I said, it's got that absolute Aventus style to it. Pineapple off the top. It's got oak moss, woods as it dries down, citrus, caramel leather, a lot of different notes in here. Great performance. Long lasting, very strong, attention grabbing, and one of the better things that Armaf has ever done, just as far as the quality of the scent. It does have a wobbly bottle, but that's pretty much the worst part about it. And if that's the worst part, then we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good, guys, all right. Next up, Hawass Ice by Rasasi. Another one that has that performance. It's got what you need, assuming that what you need is sweetness. And I'll tell you what, that is what I need. I just meant I like sweet stuff. Realized it made me sound like a creeper. So it's gonna give you Invictus kind of vibes, right? Invictus Aqua, remind you a little bit of the original Hawass, basically like a fresher, icier version of Hawass. Also could remind you a little bit of like Nitro Red from Dumont. So it's gonna remind you of a bunch of different things. It's not anything that's like insanely unique or anything like that. But once again, it does what you want, what you need in a fragrance. It gives you the longevity where it's gonna last through the day. Great projection. It has the complement factor, versatility, ease of use, all of those things at a price point that is not aggressive. I will say though, that I am suspicious of some of the price points that I see sometimes for Hawass Ice, and I'm like, is that fake? So here's why. When you search this up, it might pull up Shein, right? You guys know Shein, where you buy the clothes that fall apart in like 13 seconds. This one is on Shein. I don't know why you would be fragrance shopping on Shein, but it's whatever. So it's on Shein, like 19 bucks. I'm like, dang, that is cheap. That's cheap as dirt. And then you look at the discounters that typically carry all of the clone fragrances, right? All the big brands and smaller brands and everything else. And this is like 50, 60. So it just kind of raises a red flag where I'm like, are they faking the Hawass now? Is that what's going on here? Completely as an aside, but I noticed this just like the day before on Eilish #3. Not a clone fragrance, it's a Billie Eilish fragrance, but it's discontinued, right? And so it's available at some different discounters. Like Maple Prime has it, for example, I think around 80 bucks. And that makes sense because it's a discontinued fragrance. Maybe there were people seeking it out. So about 80 bucks, whatever, that makes sense. But then you go to eBay, maybe a couple other like Shein-esque stores, and they've got it for like 20 or 25. I'm just like, is that fake? Because it just doesn't make sense as an eBayer or a store if you look at something and you're like, okay, this is going for whatever, like this is going for 60, we'll say. Why then would you go, you know what? Let's sell it for 15, unless there's a reason. Off my soapbox, on to the next, Rare Carbon. Yeah, Rare Carbon. I had it facing the right way. I'm pretty proud of myself. So they're coming out with a new one, Rare Reef, which is done by Lucas Swizak, the guy who did a little fragrance called Reflection Man. And way back in the day, did a couple fragrances with me that are long discontinued. Pour one out in the chat. But yeah, he's doing Rare Reef, which that looks like it's gonna be Pacific Chill. I don't have it yet, so I don't know for sure. But Rare Carbon, this one is Ombre Leather. Tom Ford's Ombre Leather, which fantastic scent. One of the more wearable, but still mass appealing leather scents that you can buy. Just like really top notch, very classy, sexy, but not, you know, overly animalic or harsh or anything like that. And for the price point, this stuff is absurdly good. Just really, really, really close. And so I gotta work that one in there because it gives me a different feel than everything else that I have, right? Or at least right here. Gotta get that nice leathery pop, and that gives it to me. Then Mirage Absolute, French Avenue. So you have to have a Layton style fragrance, Layton, Lay's potato chips. A ton of Lay's potato chips. Is that what the name means? Lay's ton. Yeah, connecting the dots here. I see. So you gotta have a Layton. It's a rule or something, I don't know. I love the fragrance, I love Layton. I love Layton and Layton Exclusive, yes I do. The question is, which one do you get? Because there are a few. And by a few, I mean every single brand has one, probably more than one actually. So if I'm going with only one, gotta be this one, I feel like. Now, if you wanna go cheaper, there is cheaper. You can get Detour Noir, real nice for the price point. That was probably the first real big one, first big Layton. Armaf has a solid one, Rougier, well done. Like I said, you can work your way through and find multiple Laytons out there. But this one does what I want. It falls somewhere in between Layton and Layton Exclusive. It's not fully Layton Exclusive, although I think that's what this is really supposed to be, but it's not 100% there. It's not quite as dark as that one, not quite as animalic. So it's somewhere in between, right? It's not all the way Layton, it's not all the way Layton Exclusive. The performance is there, the quality is there, the compliment factor is there, it smells amazing. So if I'm only taking one, I'm gonna take the one that kind of splits the difference, gives me a little bit of both as far as Laytons go. And for the final fragrance, I'm going with Comrock Ha. I feel like if you're picking, 10 or 12 or however many fragrances, one of them's gotta be a Comrock. I think if I'm taking just one, this is the one that I'd rather have. Now, it's a little bit more masculine than the original, and that's because of that coffee that's in here, but it still is quite close to the original. So it still has that really sexy sweetness, that coziness, that magnetic kind of feel. Also has better performance, a little better push, a little better longevity. And I actually really enjoy the roast coffee along the edges of the fragrance. I think it makes it slightly more interesting. So I essentially have two Comrahs that are not exactly Comrah because they have both been tweaked and changed, just in different ways. And let me do a giveaway for those of you who have lasted this long. Let me go find some. Okay, I got a couple things. North Stag Un, and then Midnight Oud. Haven't talked about this one for a while. It's a really solid interlude clone. This one, you got the note breakdown right there on the side. Grapefruit, ambroxan, woody notes. What a great note breakdown. This is gonna be Bulgari Tigerish. So, fragrance in that style. So these two are for the giveaway for you guys. Here are the rules as always. Like the video, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever. Comment down below, very important. In the comment, let me know if you were to keep, say, just one clone, which one is the one for you. I'll pick a winner with random comment picker posted up on the post tab of the YouTube channel the following month when this video goes live, usually about halfway through the month. And it'll be posted alongside winners of all the other giveaways, so just hit me up, I'll ship it out to you. There we go, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.